Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Volvo Pass-Through Programming presented by Opus IVS. My name is Henry Merino. I will be instructor for this evening. Tonight, we will be going over, one second, J2534 versus DICE pass-through, what cables are needed for certain Volvo vehicles, how Opus IVS assists with programming using RAP, DrivePro, and CarDAQ Pro devices, Volvo pricing per module, system requirements, intro to Vida, how to create your account, how to install Vida, how to purchase a subscription for Vida, how to register a PC for Vida Access, and how to program or update a control module on Vida and more. This is a brief intro to J2534 versus DICE programming. So you have your J2534 pass-through device by Drew Technologies, and then Volvo has their separate DICE pass-through device, which they use for their vehicles at the dealership. All right. So basically, this is your VOE cable, which Volvo uses for their DICE tool to program their vehicles. This adapter is a Volvo special tool with number. The part number for this tool is a 9513062. It's VDS protocol based on vehicle support, vehicle communication by Ethernet. So basically, this has to be hardwired directly to your computer and to your DICE tool directly into the vehicle. It's a VOE cable adapter for Volvo vehicles based on SPA platforms, which is a scalable product architectural platforms from 2016 and up, like models of the XC90, basically. The 2016 XC90, 2018 XC60, and the new 2019 XC60 and X40 require internet for stable connectivity. So you want to make sure that you have a good stable connectivity when you program these vehicles, because the system can go down during programming, and it's going to be a failed programming. You're not going to be able to get the module, excuse me, programmed correctly. Rule of thumb, and any vehicle with push start buttons will require a DICE protocol. So you can't necessarily use pass-through programming. In my experience, you can, because we do it with RAP and drive units when we're programming these vehicles. But on certain platforms, you're not able to, like the 2016 XC90, 18 XC60. So on certain models, they're gonna need the DICE pass-through device. So you're not gonna be able to get away with every single vehicle using your pass-through device. So just keep that in mind. Vehicles with a knob-like ignition switch will need the internet cable. So, and all vehicles, you're going to need internet cable. But the best practice is to program hardwire directly to your router if you have it available. If not, Wi-Fi is okay. You really don't want to do it using on your cell phone using a hotspot or anything like that. The best way of doing is programming via Wi-Fi or hardwired. Now, this is Volvo's DICE tool. It's for vehicle communications for D2 and GDD protocol-based vehicles. Volvo Car Corporation does not test or certify other aftermarket communication tools. So basically what they're saying is that they don't certify the aftermarkets, but we are an aftermarket that's pretty much reputable, and we work with a lot of the OEM brands, so we're not one of those aftermarket scan tool companies that are not linked up with the OEM, and not working with them to get you guys the assistance that you need for aftermarket. It can be purchased. The only way you can purchase this DICE is through the dealership only. You really can't find it online. You can, but I don't recommend it. Some of them are used, some of them are not, out of date, and you're not able to update them. So I don't recommend you going through like an eBay or Amazon to get them. I strongly recommend you going through the dealer to get it, because then you'll have the latest and greatest pass-through if you're looking to get a DICE, and you'll be able to work on most of the brands that they have out in the dealership. Now, this is our pass-through device, CarDAQ 3. Basically, it works with most of the OEMs that we have out there right now, anything 2004 and later. This J2530 can be used to download software to vehicles from model years 2004 and up as well. It comes with software that you can install on your PC, so you can get everything loaded and ready to go when you're starting to program an OEM vehicle. J2534 manages software download and controls modules on both CAN 8 high speed and CAN medium speed. So you basically program these vehicles, most of these OEMs with this pass-through device. Is a great pass-through device. This is basically what's inside a RAP tool and your drive tool when you purchase one. And in my experience, since I do a lot of programming, it's a great tool. It does a lot of great programming on a lot of models like domestic, Asian, European. So I do recommend this one. If you're not looking to get the dice, this is the way to go. This is the best one out there, and this is the only one that I would really recommend. I really don't recommend going to other aftermarket guys, because sometimes it doesn't even work. In my experience, I've used other pasture devices and they don't work as well as this one. So I do strongly recommend you picking up one of these. All right. Now, this is our pass-through DrivePro unit. Basically, it's a scanner and pasture device all in one. If you look on the left, it says DrivePro. That's for diagnostics. So you get diagnostic assistance from master AE certified technicians for assistance, and then you have the button for Drive Wrap. That's for programming. So when you use that option, you get a guy like me on the phone. We set an appointment up with them, and we basically call you up. Once you set your appointment, we help you program the vehicle. We do from a lot of domestic, certain Asians and certain OEMs with you with wrap. Right now we do Volvo on the wrap software, and we could do BMW as well. So that's a great tool to have with you. I recommend this one as well, because this tool is two tools in one. You do diagnostics and you do programming, which is awesome. And you get the support that you need. These guys are great. When they call you guys, they do all the research with you guys over the phone, and they do the best they can to answer any questions you guys may have, or do diagnostics they can help you with. All right. Drive Wrap really is just for really programming, so they really don't do get into diagnostics as well. But when you get most of our guys are all knowledgeable in certain models. So if we can, we'll help you a little bit. But if we can't, then we'll send you over to our DrivePro technicians to assist you further. All right. Now, this is the wrap tool device, and now we have our new CarDAQ Pro tool, which is a smaller device, but basically it's the same thing as the drive scanner you just saw earlier. So on the left, it's the wrap device, which comes with a tablet built into it. It comes with a battery maintainer built into it as well. That's where this tool is just for programming only. This is not for diagnostics. This is just for programming. So with this tool, you have to call in and set up an appointment to get a programming done if you need one done, especially on a Volvo. And our technicians over the phone will assist you on letting you know whether we can or cannot do the programming. Like I mentioned earlier, certain vehicles require the DICE protocol. So if we can't do it, we'll let you know that unfortunately, it needs the DICE. And if you have a DICE, you can actually plug it in and we can assist you on the wrap device, which is pretty cool, because I've been working with this for about 2 years now since we launched the program, and it's been working pretty successfully. Certain models obviously are not going to work, but there's certain ones that we can get away with, which is cool. So if you do have a DICE tool and we want us assisting you, then you can plug it into the tool so we can go assist you on doing that. Then you have your CarDAQ Pro. With this tool is pretty new. It was released a year ago, and it's been doing very well. In my experience, I've been doing a lot of Volvo programming on it, and it's been very successful. Like I said, there's going to be some instances where we're going to run into issues where we can't program the vehicle, but I would say 90% of the time we can get the car done for you guys. All right, so it's great for doing it as well. So, and also what's cool about the little CarDAQ Pro is that it also does diagnostics. You have the assistance for diag as well. So if you get this tool, you'll have the option to really get a master technician on the phone with you as well. Unlike the wrap tool itself, like I said, it's only for programming. That little device right there will do a little bit more. All right, it's like the DrivePro in like a miniature version, basically. So you'll be able to get away with programming with that as well, which is cool about that. Okay, quick disclaimer. If you are buying a tool from Amazon, if you buy any of these tools from Amazon, you must call in the main office to fill out our programming agreement before we can service anything. Because most of the times, if we get in, you set up an appointment and we try to program the car, it's going to let us know that the tool's not activated. Okay, that's when we have to go ahead and send you over to registration so you can get the tool registered and get everything set for you to go. Which it's a little waste of time. So if you want to do once you get the tool, I advise you on calling the main office to get the tool certified so you can go ahead and start setting up appointments so you can start programming. All right, guys. Now, there's system requirements involved, and there's recommended voltage on these vehicles. Most of the time, these vehicles require to to be above 12 volts and below 15 volts. Now with Volvo, they're really specific. Volvo, you need to be at least 12.8 volts and above. It can't be below, and it can't be higher than a 13.8. Once it hits 13.8, it's gonna not allow you to program the car. It's gonna stop programming, especially with dice as well. That's, like I said, that's for aftermarket and dice as well. So above 12.8 and below 13.8. That's where you want to be around that medium. You want to go above that. You want to make sure that you're monitoring that so that you don't get any failed programming. Volvo is pretty good with if it fails the programming. It doesn't mean that the module is no good. It just means that either the voltage was too high or was too low. Sometimes you get instances where the software is not working. Maybe there are issues where the modules are defective, and you might have to contact your Volvo dealer to get another module. But like I said, nothing's perfect. So, sometimes you run into that issue. Even our wrap technicians, when they do the programming, they run into that issue where they're unable to program due to the fact the module either is defective or no good, or there might be something else going on with the vehicle with the CAN line system where it's not allowing the module to talk within the network. And that's where you want to go ahead and do your further diagnostics. So the type of computer you want to get is an Intel Core i5 or equivalent. You want to get something that has 4 gigs or more of RAM. And you want to have at least 10 gigabytes of memory. You want to have at least 2 ports of USB 2.0 or higher. The reason why I say that is because, like I said, you have to hardwire this device directly to the vehicle, and you want to have enough ports to be able to plug in your USB ports or Ethernet to be able to hardwire it to the vehicle. You also want to make sure you get something that's Windows 10 or newer. You don't want to get anything less than that, like Windows 7, because it's not going to work. Volvo has moved their software, has upgraded their software to Windows 10 now and newer. So you're not going to be able to use the older platform. So if you have an older computer, you're going to want to start upgrading to Windows 10 or newer, especially on the newer models, other manufacturers as well. They're going to require you to move up as well. So if you're doing this on your own, you're going to want to get a computer that's capable and that's more up to date than if you have like a Windows 7 computer right now, because you're going to run into a lot of issues if you're using Windows 7. You also want to be using Internet Explorer 8 or a newer version of Chrome. You don't want to be using anything older than that. You cannot use Mozilla Firefox. Mozilla Firefox does not work for programming. It won't let you do it. And it just won't open the program. So you want to make sure you're using Internet Explorer 8 or a newer Chrome, and you should be fine. Once you have all that, you should be ready to go for programming with your pass-through device. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you guys how to download Vida and set it up on your PC. Now, with downloading Vida, it's pretty simple. I'm gonna show you guys the steps, but setting up Vida, once you set up Vida, you have to be registered on that PC. What I'm trying to say is that every single time that you install Vida, you have to register that PC to be able to use Vida. So if you have 3 different computers in the shop, you're going to want to register those 3 different computers. Just because you have the software running on one doesn't mean it's going to start working on all the other computers. So you're going to have to register on each single one. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. The website you're going to want to go to is www.volvotechinfo.com. All right. So this is how the website looks. All right. So basically you have your store where you're going to purchase your software, your subscription, any special tools that you want to purchase, like your dice tool for programming. You're going to have support here where you're going to get messages in your inbox. If you need help requests with the software, you have live technicians over in Sweden helping you out. Now, you have to understand that there's a time difference here. If you're in the United States and they're in Sweden, they might not get back to you right away. You have to understand that because they're overseas. So if you are requesting tech support, you might have to wait a couple hours or maybe a day or so to be able to receive a response from them, because they're, it's pretty delayed, the assistance. But again, it's good to know that you have it there. Then you have resources. This is basically for like any computer requirements that you want to make sure you have the right computer. Dealer equipment, dealer tools, merchandise from Volvo that you want to pick up, anything like that, you'll be able to search it on this menu right here. All right. And this is where you would sign in through your account. Now, this is where you're going to create your account. And if you forget your password, you're going to go here and you're going to go ahead and forget password and then create a new password once they send you an email to create a new password. All right. This is the Vida message board. Basically, this is where it's going to tell you where Vida is down. So let's say you're trying to program a vehicle and you're not able to program, not because the battery's not good or the module's no good. It's basically not going to let you in because the server is down. So if you see on the left-hand corner, there's going to have a Vida message board telling you that potential system disturbance between such and such a date. All right. So you want to make sure you look at that. I'm not asking you to look at that every single time you go in, but if you start having trouble when you start running Vida and it's not allowing you to run, there might be an issue with the server. And you want to might look into the message board and see what that is. All right. Now, on the arrow at the bottom, it's Vida installation prerequisite link. Basically, you're going to click on that link, and that link is basically going to start setting up Vida on your PC. You're going to see a little icon at the bottom left-hand corner of the PC, and it's going to start installing Vida for you to start setting it up. All right. Once you launch it, you're going to get this menu here. You just got to click on next on the icon, and it's going to start installing the software for you. It's going to ask you to, read the license agreement. Once you read the license agreement, you can click on agree and then click on next. All right. And then it's just going to ask you where you want to save the software to, and just gonna, it's gonna automatically do it for you. So you don't really need to do any of this. I'm just trying to show you guys where it would be going. So on this one, it'd be on the file C++ redistributor package, but most of the times it's gonna be on your desktop because that's where it's gonna install. So you don't have to worry about none of that. So I'm just showing you that just so you could see the image once you get it and once you start installing. Now this will start installing all the software into your drivers for Vida. And then once you're done doing that, you just click on next. All right. It's going to ask you to install. So you're just going to install the software now. Then you're going to see the progress bar go by. Now, this takes pretty quick. This is not going to take too long. It's probably going to take you about, I would say, 5 minutes to install the software on your PC. Now, once you start going through the software, it's going to start. You can see the progress bar. It's going to let the progress bar go by. You want to make sure you don't have anything running in the background. It might disturb it because you're going to have to start everything over again. All right. And then you can start seeing it install as device driver. Now, you don't really need to have anything installed. Most of the times you have to have, when you see this menu, you have to have your dice tool installed so you can start installing the driver software for your dice. All right. Now, you don't, with our passion device, you're going to get a CD with it that it's going to install the drivers for you. And then once you start launching Vida and you have everything plugged in, it's going to sense the passion device. It's going to see our passion. I'll show you guys where you're going to see that and where you're going to check for that once you're in. All right, now it's going to start to prepare the installation for the software for Vida. All right, and once it's all done, it's going to ask you to launch Vida. And then just click finish. All right, and once you finish, these three icons are going to pop up on your desktop. You're going to have Vida, Vida admin, and Vida support. Now, Vida obviously is the program itself. The Vida admin is where you're going to go ahead and you're going to register the tool, the software on your PC. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. The Vida support is when you need Vida support from the Vida team over in Sweden. You're going to go ahead and just click on that button. You'll be able to access the software so you can, ask them any questions or troubleshoot anything with them over the via email or on the Vida software itself. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you guys how to create your account for the Volvo website and purchasing the Vida subscription. Now this can be a little daunting and it can be a little tricky and confusing, and it can be a little frustrating to a lot of people. I know I was frustrated the first time I started doing Vida because I didn't know where everything went. Once I figured it out, it's pretty simple. So it's good that you're watching this webinar right now, so you don't have to fall into that area where you can't figure out what's going on and what to do next. Because like I said, it can be very confusing. All right. So once you start, you're going to go ahead and sign in for the first time on your free account, on your account. You're going to create an account. Excuse me. I'm sorry. You're going to create an account first, right? So you're going to fill out all this information here. You're going to put your address, what username you wish to use, password that you wish to use, all your information. And then once you do that, you just put in the code at the bottom, making sure you're not an alien or nothing like that. And then you're going to register your account. And then once you're in there, it's gonna tell you welcome. You've logged into your account for the first time. It's gonna have your username on the top there. I just blanked it out because my name is there. All right. So once you do that and you're logged in, ready to go, you're gonna click on the store option to purchase the subscription. Okay. You click on that button, and then it's gonna take you to this page right here. You're gonna click on order now. Now, if you see there's a 3-day, there's a 30-day subscription, there's a 365-day subscription. Now, if you're not doing too many programming, I mean, it depends on what you're doing. It's up to you. If you want to do a whole year, it's going to cost you $6,000. If you're doing a lot of programming, maybe it's worth it to you to pay that $6,000 because you're just going to make it back with the programming if you're doing a lot of it. If you're not doing so much, I don't recommend you doing that. I recommend you doing a 3-day subscription. It won't only cost you $63.60 to get it done. And you won't have to worry about spending all that money. You'll be able to make your profit. All right. Now, what you're going to use is you're going to go to Vida subscription configurator for Vida for independent repair shops. That's you guys. The dealership doesn't use that because they already have their subscription loaded on their PCs. But this is what you're going to be selecting for the first time when you go in for a subscription. Okay, and this is just a license agreement. It's gonna, if you want to read it, you can read it. If you don't want to read it, you don't have to. You just scroll down to the very bottom and click I accept. All right. So that's going to bring you to this menu. Now, this is where it gets tricky. A lot of people get confused on what to do. They're like, what should I select here? Diagnostic workflow? Should I select standard time? What you're going to want to do is first, you're going to want to put in the option of how many licenses you want to enter. So you're going to use one license for 3 days. You're just going to be like, put one for number of license and choose what you want to do. Is it 3-day, 30-day, or 365 days? I picked 3 days as that's normally what we're using. And then you're going to basically select all the items that are there. You're not going to select one. You're going to want to select every single item that's there. All right. Once you select every item that's there, you're going to click on add. That will bring everything over to the other side. That's where you're going to be able to purchase every single software. Now, you might be asking me, why do I have to select everything? Well, the reason why is because the Vida software needs to have all this stuff to be able to run the software properly. If you use one software, it's not going to work properly. Believe me, I've used it, and I've selected one, and it hasn't worked out too well for me. So once I started, selecting everything, and I put everything to the left, everything works. Now Vida knows to install all this software for your programming because it comes with diagnostics. Vida does diag. It does erase of DTCs, and it does all the programming for you, and it has vehicle schematics, so you'll be able to see exactly where you need to locate a component, and electrical schematics too, so you can look over your workflow. All right, once you do that and you add everything to your left-hand side, you're going to want to click on calculate price. All right, then it's going to bring you to this menu here. It's just going to give you a rundown of how much the price is for this today. It's going to be $71.34. Now, Vida can change the pricing around. It's up to them. They can change it at times, so you just want to be aware of that. It's just them. They're probably adding new stuff, new software, making updates, and they might be able to change it. I haven't seen it change at all, but it can happen, so you never know. And then once you do that, you're just going to click on proceed. All right, and then once you see that there, just going to add the software to your basket. All right, and then you can see there on the upper right-hand corner in the little cart there, you're going to see 6 items that you're purchasing for the $71. All right. Once you go there, once you click on the cart, it's going to take you to this menu here, the cart's items list. And it's going to ask you, it's going to give you a rundown of the cost and everything. And then you're going to be able to check out. All right. And then once you check out, it's going to give you your order number. It's up to you if you want to keep that order number. You don't really need to have it. It's going to tell you the time and date the software was purchased. It'll even send you a receipt for your books. And then it'll give you the total what you paid on your credit card. All right. So it takes about 24 hours to get approved from Vida, from Volvo. Once you get approved, you're going to get an email that you've been approved. It takes about 24 hours to get approved, so it's not going to happen right away. So if you have a car waiting to program, you might want to, advise your customer if you're going to do it for the first time that you need a little, you're going to need to, they need to come back in a couple of days to be able to program it, or a day later until you get approved. All right. So again, it's going to take about 24 hours. Sometimes it's a little faster. I've seen people get approved faster than 24 hours, but just keep in mind that's the time frame where you're going to be waiting to get approved. Okay, quick troubleshooting tips here. If you see an issue like this via subscription, that means there's something going on with the website or the server for Volvo, and they have something going on. Again, you don't want to go back to that message board because they're going to tell you that this is what's going on, and you might this is one of those issues that you might run into where it's not going to let you purchase a subscription. That just means that the server may be down or they're working on the website, so you're not able to access it. So at that point, you're not going to really be able to do much until it's up and running again. Now, Vida really doesn't send out an email. Like I said, they go through the message board and they'll tell you when it's going to be up and running again. So again, you're going to have to want to take a look at that message board so you know what date it might be up and running again. All right. You're also going to get your sessions timed out. That's also meaning that there's an issue with the software, that it's not allowing you to get in. That may be the server may be down. Most of the times when you see something like that, the server is down. It's not that they're working on the server. There's an issue, there's a glitch with the software. And you might want to reach out to support and let them know, hey, I'm getting this message here that I can't get in, and they'll assist you. And again, it's going to take them a while to get back to you, but they do get back to you. Okay, then you got your knowledge base here. Okay, and then when you go to your knowledge base, you can go to Vida error messaging and troubleshooting. Sometimes you can do it yourself. Vida will send you some information on how to get it done. And then once you click on it, you're gonna have like questions and answers. So like this, I received that. Like if you hit to see at the bottom there where it says I received an error message on the screen, what should I do? And then they'll answer, these are most common asked questions. So they'll put them up there. If your answer is not there, then again, you're going to reach out to support and let them know that you're having an issue. And they might put it up there. So in case, other people are having the same issue, they'll be able to, you guys can troubleshoot it on your own. Again, it's like another one right here. If your Internet Explorer times out menu, you click on tools, click on internet options, just follow the guide as they tell you. It should work. Most of the times it does work because they're going through it. They got a team of technicians there that are going through the software, and they'll just tell you what you need to do next. This is another one right here. Problem with a Vida application, right there. And then once you log in, that message board will be scrolling on the top, stating that there's something wrong. So at that point, you really can't do much. You're gonna have to wait for the software to get fixed. Okay, how to register your computer for Vida application, accessing your subscription. So this is what I mentioned to you guys. This is where I'm going to show you how to register your computer and start accessing the software for your subscription. All right. So first thing you want to do, first things first, you want to launch the Vida application. You're going to click on that icon right there. All right. And then this is the menu you're going to get right here. All right. So for the first time, you're going to enter your username and ID. All right, for the first time. This is when you get you have the access to it and you can enter your password. It's always going to give you this message. This device needs to be approved in Vida admin in order to enable access. Please contact your Vida administration for further actions. So what that's telling you is that you're not necessarily going to contact Vida admin. What you're going to do is you're going to go click on that Vida admin icon that you got on your desktop, right? Once you see this option. Now, you're not going to be able to access the software until you access the admin. You could do this forever. You could be entering your ID and passwords and keep telling you the same thing. Do not ignore this message. Follow the way it's telling you to do to access the software. All right. Once you do this for the very first time, this doesn't happen every single time you log in, but once you gain access, you're approved by Volvo to use their Vida software. For the first time, it's going to send you an email stating that you have to change your username and password. All you're going to do is you're going to change your username and password. On the right side, you're going to see where it says HTTP VCCDS Volvo Cars Biz. You're going to click on that link to access the change of password. All right. So you're just going to enter your ID and the password. It's going to give it to you. It's going to give you one, like a temporary one for the first time. So it's going to give you one in the email, and you're going to use that one to log into your account. And then you're going to click on that link, and it's going to take you here. And then you're going to go, once you go in there, you're going to go into account information when you register. You can also find your ID and password in your Volvo account under account information, right on the upper right-hand corner if you forget it. All right. Once you do that, the link is going to take you here. You're going to enter in that WSL login that it gave you on the website, and you're going to put in that there, and then you're going to put the temporary password they give you on that as well. All right. That's the only time you're going to use their password to temporary, and then it's going to ask you to set up your own account. Now, this is for you're going to have two different IDs and password. You're going to have one for your account, for your website, and you're going to have one for your bookstore. The bookstore is where you're going to purchase your software to program these modules. All right. So this is what it's doing for you. It's setting up your bookstore password and ID. Okay. So once you do that, you're going to click on register guide for subscription when you relaunch the Vida software. So again, you're going to put in that code. You're going to click on it. It's going to take you, it's going to relaunch the Vida software, and you're going to have to click on register guide for subscription. That's where you're going to enter in your new user ID and your password that you wish to use. It's going to take you here. Once you enter that there, you enter your user ID that you wish to use and the password that you wish to use, right? And then you're gonna click on the left-hand corner where it says name. You're gonna make sure you click on Vida 2000. This is from 2015. I'm sorry they didn't update this, but this basically is the same thing. You're not gonna see anything different. So once you get there, it's gonna ask you to select your subscription. You're gonna select that right there. And it's asking, excuse me, it's gonna ask you to review and confirm. Once you review and confirm, you just click yes, and it's just gonna move forward. And then automatically it's gonna update your bookstore ID and password. And then once you go to Vida, you're going to click on Vida admin. So you can start accessing the software. I know this is a little confusing. I get it. You know, you can always email us if you want to go over it. You can go over the webinar again. But I do know it's a lot of steps. See, this is what I mean about getting confused, because it's a lot of steps to go by just to start the software, to get it going. It's a little confusing, and it gets a little frustrating. That's why a lot of people don't like to do it. And that's where we come in hand. That's where we come along, and we can help you do all this. You guys don't have to worry about doing none of this. That's what our service is about, and that's what we're here for, to help you guys out, so you don't have to deal with this. But if you guys wish to, unfortunately, this is the process you're gonna have to go through just to get it done, to do it on your own. All right. So you're gonna have to click on Vida admin next once you created your bookstore password and ID. All right. And then it's gonna relaunch, it's gonna launch the bookstore application. All right. This is what the bookstore application looks like. All right. The only time that you're gonna be able to access this is when you're in the Vida software to purchase the software to program the module. For right now, it's going to ask you to do this because it wants to know that you registered your account, and it wants to know that you have access to your bookstore. So once you put in your user ID and password, you'll be able to get in. Now, at the bottom, it says use your user ID and password for Vida, not the Volvo website. Again, like I said, you're not using your Volvo ID from the website when you register for the first time. You're using this for your bookstore, the one you just created. You're going to enter in that ID and password there, and then you're going to click on login. All right. Once you click on login, you're just going to put your contact name, your email address there, because they're going to want that. And then you're going to go into subscription on the right side. You're going to click on subscription, and then it's going to ask you to access the subscription. You're just going to double click on the subscription little icon on the left. That's a link that you can tap, double click on, and that will take you to your subscription. Now, what this is doing right now is activating subscription on your PC. This is registering your tool, your software on your PC. It says check box to activate, which you're going to check that box to activate it. And then you click on save. Make sure you click on save. You don't click on save, it's not going to work. You're going to have to relaunch the admin again. All right, then you're going to go to user. Once you click on user, you're going to enter in your email. You're going to see your email address in there because you already registered it. It's going to pick it up already. So you're going to just put you're going to highlight your email address, and you click on add, and that will send it over to the left-hand side. And then you're going to click on save. All right. Pretty simple. It's not that hard. Just click add and save. That's all. All right. So once it's saved, it's going to say your information has been saved. So now your username is going to see, you're going to see it on the right side. You're going to have your available users right there on your left side. You see underneath where there's a black box there. And then you're going to click on device. Now, this is where you're going to register the actual PC, right? So now we're going to register the PC for access of Vida. All right. So you're going to double click again here to register the device. it's going to take you to this link right here where it's going to ask you to approve or reject your device. You're going to click on approve because if you click on reject, you're not going to be able to use your software on your PC. So once you click approve, you're going to make sure you click save at the bottom. All right, because it's going to say registered. I have it highlighted there in blue where it says registered because right now, it's seeing that it's registered, right? But it's not approved yet. So until you approve it, it's when you're going to be able to gain access to the software. So once you approve it, you're going to click on save. All right. So now it's saying the information has been saved. So now this PC is now saved for pass-through programming with Vida. All right. So now you're able to launch these PC. Now, again, like I mentioned to you guys earlier in the webinar, that you're not going to be able to access all PCs just because you have the Vida installed on that PC. You're going to have to go through all these steps to register that PC. All right. Like I said, it's a little frustrating, I know, but this is the process you have to go through to register your PC. So if you have 3 PCs, you're gonna have to do this 3 times. So I would advise you getting 1 PC dedicated just for Volvo programming, so you can just do it once. Because if not, you're gonna be there all day just registering PCs like this. If you want to have them all PCs. All right. So now we're gonna start doing. Now we're ready. We're all ready to go. Vida's installed on your PC. You're all registered with your PC, and you want to program a steering angle sensor on this vehicle. All right. So now we're going to launch Vida. Click on that, double click on that Vida software. All right, it's going to bring you to the menu. And now that we've registered the PC and we've registered the software and the subscription, it's automatically going to start to detect the database and start initializing everything, start to get you in, authorizing you that you've been authorized for this PC, and you just have to enter in your user ID and password. Now, the user ID and password you're going to be using for this is the website. Okay, the website that you registered with. That's the one you're using. Again, like I said, there's 2 different ones. You have your website, which you use to log into your Vida software, and then you have your bookstore to be able to purchase the software to program the module, right? So now what we use is our website, ID and password, and we're logging in, and it's going to initialize the software. All right, and it's going to start the application. All right, so now this is the Vida menu, right? So now you have search for vehicle, you have recent vehicles, you have connected vehicles, you have my list, you have workshop customers, right? Now there's different ways of, setting Vida up and the way you want to do it. If you want to play with it around, you could search for obviously you haven't worked on the vehicle yet, so you're not gonna be able to search for recent vehicles, but you're able to see the workshop customer. You could set that up on your own. But for these purposes today in the webinar, we're just focusing on pass-through programming, so I'm not gonna really get into that with you today. But what you want to do is when you connect to the vehicle for the first time, you're going to want to connect to the vehicle. So once you click on connect to vehicle, you're going to see a drop-down menu on the left-hand corner there, right? So what normally we use on the DrivePro is the GDP 2020 pass-through that's in the unit, right? So if you see on the left-hand corner, you see that it's picking up the pass-through device. Like I mentioned to you guys earlier, once you set up the drivers for your DICE tool and you set up your drivers for your Drew Technologies CarDAQ 3 and the drivers are installed, the Vida software will pick it up. So our software is installed on the PC and it's picking up our GDP 2020, which is our Drew Technologies pass-through device, which is installed on our DrivePro. So I'm going to select that. But once you select that and I click on read vehicle, it's going to ask me to install the Vida prerequisites. This means that Vida's released an update for their software. So you want to do this. Do not skip this because the software is not going to work. It's going to tell you that Vida prerequisites has not been installed yet. So you have to restart the software again and then go back to this menu again and click on install Vida. So don't ignore this. Make sure you install this every single time. Okay. So I'm showing you guys this because you might run into an issue where you can't communicate with the control module, the pass-through device. It's going to give you this error message at the top. It's going to say communications tools already connected to another vehicle. Communication tools is not connected properly. Ignition is not on. It's a defective CEM. It can give you all possible reasons of why it could be causing this issue. So you might want to look to see what's going on. If everything's connected, if the CM's connected, it also can give you this message: the voltage is too low. It's not going to pick up. Sometimes, most of the time, sometimes it'll let you in, and then you'll be able to correct the voltage and everything like that. But most of the times, it's these issues that the error is popping up. All right, so you want to make sure you're selecting the correct pass-through device for programming. Once you select the correct pass-through device, which is the GDP 2020, you're going to click on read vehicle. That will start to read the vehicle. And at the top, it's going to say connected to vehicle. All right. Reading VIN successfully done. That's what's going to say. That means that it read the VIN correctly. So if you see at the bottom, it's reading the XC60 we're trying to work on today. And if you see where it says connections, it's connected to the GDP 2020 that we're working with our passenger device. Once you see that all up and running, you're going to click on connect. Once you click on connect, it's going to start reading the entire vehicle. It's going to start reading the model type, year, transmission type, steering, engine, and stuff like that. All right. Once you select that, once everything's selected, it's going to start reading the vehicle. All right. Once it starts reading the vehicle, it takes a little bit for you to read the vehicle, but you're going to want to see the progress bar on the right where it says connected and GDP 2020 in green to get started. If you see it in orange or yellow, it's not fully reading. It hasn't fully read the vehicle entire yet. So you want to make sure that that goes in green so you can get started with programming or doing any diagnostics that you wish to do. All right. So once it's done, it's going to tell you the vehicle readout has been successfully. It's going to give you the VIN, letting you know now you have access to Vida programming or diagnostics, whichever you choose to use. All right. So for Vida programming, what you're going to do is you're going to click on software. You're going to select the type of module that you want to program with. What I normally do is I select all, so I can see every single module. So I could just put in either the abbreviation to the module, and once I put the abbreviation there, like I'm trying to do the steering angle sensor module, you'll see it there on the left, SAS, and then you'll see the software right there. As you can see at the top, I have 14.3 volts. My key's in position 2, and so I'm good to go. I'm in green right now. At any point that you guys see it's in red, that means there's something wrong. Either the voltage dropped too much or the voltage went way too high and it's not going to allow you to move forward. Or the key is not reading, it's position 0 or position 1. It's not in position 2. Now, there's certain instances when you guys do CEMs, obviously the CEM comes blank. You're not going to be able to read the CEM, and the CEM is basically the brain of the vehicle. It detects the VIN, it detects what position the key is in, it detects the battery voltage. So it's perfectly normal when you're programming a CEM, a central electronics module, to see it in yellow and you don't see anything there, but you could still program it. All right. But for today, we're doing a steering angle sensor. Now, there's 2 different options. For programming a new module, it's called a reload. To update a control module, it's called an upgrade. All right. So today we're doing a new steering angle sensor. So we only have one option, and it's sensing that we need to do a reload on the module. All right. So then we're going to click on that option, and then we're going to add the software. Now, what we're doing right now is we're adding the software to purchase it, right? Because this is where we're going to use our Bookstart up ID and password to purchase the software. That's the second one that you guys created when you registered. So once you select it, it's going to ask you to add the software. You're going to add the software, right? And it's going to move it over to the right. Once it moves over to the right, it's going to be an option to purchase it, right? So once you click on purchase, it's going to start loading the software vehicle readout so we can give you the correct part number to purchase for programming this particular vehicle. It goes by VIN, so you can't get this wrong. Vida picks it up through their server and it sees what type of vehicle you're trying to program. It's going to give you the correct part number. I have seen times where it doesn't program because it's the incorrect part number. That does happen. So you want to make sure you have the correct part number for programming the control module. Once it does that, it's going to start reading everything. Now, at this point, this is where it's going to start asking you to enter in your ID and password for your Bookstart. That's the secondary ID and password that we created, right? So you're going to enter that ID and password. You're not going to enter in the one for the website because it's going to error out every single time because it doesn't want that ID or password. It wants the secondary one for your Bookstart. All right. So once you enter that in, it's going to take you to this option here where your card is, because this is what you're purchasing. So the software is about $70.26 to purchase, right? For each module. Not all modules are the same. Certain modules are different. Some of the updated modules are about $36 to $40 to update the module, to purchase the software, to update the control module. But when you're installing a new module, to purchase the software is $70.26. Like I said, it can fluctuate. It's not always that, it could be less, it could be more. All right. And then it's going to ask you to proceed for checkout. You just enter in your vehicle information. You're going to enter in your card information, your security code and everything. And when it expires. All right. Now, this is where it gets tricky. A lot of guys purchase the software and they're like, what do I do next? and they go past this point, right? They don't even, they just ignore this part. This is a very important part in the programming process, all right? Because what it's asking you right now, it's giving you a order number on the left-hand corner, which I have highlighted. You're going to want to copy that and then paste it. I'm going to show you where to paste it. Or you want to write it down, you can write it down. But what I normally do is I copy it off the screen itself, and then I go ahead and I paste it. Now, order inquiry or increase previous order, and you just click continue because it's asking you if you're inquiring about the software. And then you're going to enter in, let me see here. Okay, so that's going to take you to this menu where it's making sure that this is the software that you want to program with. And then you're going to add it to the queue. So you're adding, basically you purchase your software, and now it's asking you, is this the correct software you want to add to the queue for programming? You're going to say, yes, I want to add this software I just purchased to the queue. So this is where you're going to enter in that order number. All right. Like I said, this is very important to copy and paste it. Don't ignore it because you're going to have to use that number here to program it. So once you copy and paste it, you can get it. If you don't copy and paste or you forget to do it, no big deal. You can always go back into your account on the website and go under your previous orders, under your my accounts list. You go right there, you can go get the number. You'll be able to see the VIN number of the vehicle and you'll be able to copy it there. So don't worry if you exit out of it by accident or the program shuts down. You can always go back into your main website, go on the vehicle programming orders or software orders, and be able to get the number, and you'll be able to paste here. So you just type it there where it says order reference. At this point, what you're doing is you're adding the software because now it's saying that this is the part order number that we're going to program the steering angle sensor module. We're going to reload the software to. Once you put that in there, you're going to click on OK. It's going to start the vehicle readout again. All right, and then it's going to give you an order reference number. It's going to basically give you a layout of what just happened, how long the program is going to take for a steering angle sensor. What it's going to do, it's going to start to communicate with the CEM, making the CEM understand that it's a new steering angle sensor module being programmed to the vehicle, and the CEM needs to talk to it. All right, and then it's going to tell you what the size is, how long it's going to take. This is going to take about 1 minute. And then what you're going to do once you're ready, it's ready to go. Make sure the voltage is good. Make sure the key is in position 2. And there's nobody around to disturb the vehicle. You want to make sure you get a good battery maintainer as well for programming. Like I said, if it goes above certain voltage, it's going to stop the programming. Right now it's at 14.3. Vita's seeing that it's fine, it's okay. Vida, as long as you see it in green and Vita's saying it's okay, you can go right ahead and continue the program. But if it goes below that and as you start to see it in green, you know it's going to error out. All right. But again, don't worry about it. If it errors out, you can always back there again. Make sure you fix the stuff in the vehicle. Make sure you get voltage. Make sure it goes back in green and try it again. All right. And once it does that, it's going to start giving you this menu, order details. And then it's going to ask you if you want to continue. Now, one thing I've experienced with Vida is that sometimes there's an issue that you run into when you try to do programming where everything is good, but when you start the process programming session and it starts to verify and everything, and then you make sure key is on, ignition key on, engine off, and then you want to download, it starts to program the control module, but then when it starts to sense an issue with the control module and goes in red, the process is ended. If Vida won't let you program with the same number that you use to program the vehicle order number that you use to program with, the order number, excuse me, to program with. So unfortunately, you're going to have to purchase the software again. All right. And then you have to reload the software again. So that's the one thing that, it kind of sucks, but that's what you got to do. You're going to have to go ahead and purchase the software again if it fails. But the good thing is that they'll refund the money for you. So all you got to do is go into your orders under your account information, and when you go into orders, they give you an option to request a refund. All you got to do is give them a brief explanation of why you're refunding the money that you went through programming and it failed. They're really good at returning your money, so don't worry about you losing your money if let's say it goes down for the first time. You can always go back and access the refund, and they'll refund the money. Normally, it takes 1 to 2 business days to get your refund, so don't worry about that because it will happen. But you don't worry about that. So just proceed as normal and get the car done, and then you can go back into your accounts information and get the refund for those other sessions that you did. All right. But don't try to recommend the one that you did program with, because they will not refund that money to you. So just try to get, if you do, let's say you do two of them and you see two orders, just pick one of them, because they'll see that one was done and one was not. And then they'll refund the money for you. Okay. All right. So once you start programming, you're gonna start seeing the download process. At this point, you can leave the vehicle alone, just let it do its thing. The normal thing that happens is that the dashboard does go in black. You won't see the dashboard lit up at all. Don't worry. Don't think that the vehicle died on you or nothing like that. Just let the Vida software do its thing. All right. Because that's normal. So just let it do its thing. Don't touch it. If it does fail, that's when you can start going and start looking at the details of the battery voltage is good or not. And that's it. And then just keep it going. Don't stop it. All right. Now at this point, we're at 75%. This is your safety zone. All right. If you see it at 60%, that's where you run into little issues. If it stays at 60% for more than 5 minutes, there's a problem. That means that either the voltage went way too high or way too low, or it's not communicating with the control module, or something's on that should be off. All right. You want to make sure when you program the vehicle that any accessories or any aftermarkets are disconnected. You don't have any other accessories besides the key on engine off mode on. All accessories must be turned off during programming, and you cannot have any aftermarket components in the vehicle. If you do, you must disconnect them, because it will sense it and it will stop programming. And that's probably why. Now, on certain instances, when you're done programming, you might lose communication on certain modules. Don't get worried. All you really need to do is do a 30-minute battery reset on the vehicle, and that should regain communication to the modules again. Most of the times that happens with programming, that it loses certain communication to certain modules, but that's normal. So again, all you got to really do is a battery reset for 30 minutes, and you should be fine. If not, then you have us for help. If you have a DrivePro unit, you can always contact us by sending a support ticket request to our Volvo team, and they'll call you right away and assist you on see what's going on, exactly what's wrong, if the module's no good, if there's something wrong with the vehicle that's causing issues with you programming the module. But 75% is your safety zone. All right. So at this point, we're at 100%. This is looking good. Programming is done. It's almost done right now. It's just making sure it's checking DTCs, clearing DTCs for you. And that's basically it. Once you get to 100, you just click on OK. And that's basically it, guys. Programming is all done. Um, you know, like I said, not all control modules are the same. Certain modules are different, but the Vida is really good at walking you through it when you go through it. Like if you're doing a headlamp control module, there's certain numbers on top of the headlamp control module you have to jot down. It's asking for production date, time, and month it was manufactured. So you're gonna need that if you're doing headlamps. Again, CEMs are perfectly normal to be offline. Most of these modules are all offline before programming, so you're not gonna be able to use it until you program it. Once you program it, it goes online. It goes online with the network of the vehicle. So it's normal for them to be offline and you can't communicate with them. So don't worry if you can't communicate with them. That's perfectly normal. Like I said, until it's programmed, then you'll be able to communicate with them. So that's basically it. Guys, I hope you guys got something out of this. It was my pleasure to be here with you guys tonight to work with you on Volvo. Volvo is very once you get it, you'll be proud of yourself that you got it, because it is difficult. A lot of people don't even want to bother with it, but that's why you have us. That's why you have the rap team. You have our good guys at IVS 360. Our master technicians are very smart guys, very hardworking guys that'll be there to get you guys through the troubleshooting. So don't hesitate to call us, set up an appointment. If you wish for us to do the programming for you, we'd be more than happy to do the programming for you. Just got to call in and set up an appointment. So I don't really see you guys sending any questions here, but again, don't forget to sign up for our September 14th Jaguar and Land Rover Electrical Systems Theory and Troubleshooting webinar, hosted by our instructor, Alan Pham, on Thursday at 7 o'clock to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's September 14th, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. All right, guys, it was my pleasure again. Have a great night and good luck. Take care.